where's the Pink Moustache come from? What's the idea behind it?
Yeah, the idea is we wanted to create delight from the second that you saw a Lyft. And so we thought about user experience from the perspective of not just in an app, but the actual user experience when people connect in person. And so the mustache is like a smile. Oftentimes passengers then smile and drivers smile. And then we had the fist bump when you get in the front seat of the car. We actually staged all this out in the beginning, sat in cars, thought about different ways to do it. So we wanted to think about the user experience more broadly than traditional kind of in-app.
Right. What we really wanted to convey was that it was a peer-to-peer experience of equals, right? So we wanted to break this idea of a service relationship where you get in the back seat and the person in the front seat is working for you, and we wanted to create one of equals.
Is some dude in Dallas, you're not in Dallas, but some dude in Dallas going to feel comfortable getting into the front of a car with a pink mustache on it?
That was one of our biggest questions, when we launched our second market of LA, and then we went to Seattle and Chicago, Boston, and it's translated in every market. It creates, this sort of, mystique around it. People start asking, what's going on, what is it, and it creates this, viral word-of-mouth effect.
Right. So you've caught the attention of Uber. You launched in 3 markets a few weekends ago, and then like a week later, Uber said, we're going to launch UberX, our low-cost product in those markets. And by the way, we're going to make it free for the first month. How do you compete with that? How do you compete with free?
It's a standard practice, in all markets for all companies in this space, to give away free rides to acquire new users. So we have a code we're doing for Disrupt, TC Disrupt, that'll get every user in San Francisco a free ride up to $20. We do this in all markets. I think both companies know that free isn't a long-term sustainable strategy, and we're differentiating based on the experience in the community around Lyft.
I want to talk about regulation, because this is something that you're going to run into in every new market. You had it in California really early on. You received a cease and desist notice from the PUC. You've been working with them. It seems like here, at least, you've got that worked out. Where are things with the PUC right now?
The question we always get from the PUC, we said, what are your concerns? Because literally we can't fill out the application you're asking us to fill out. We don't own vehicles. But what are your concerns? We approach them from a collaborative point of view, and they say safety. And we say, great, let's talk about safety. In fact, in California, black cars and limos aren't required to do criminal background checks. We do criminal background checks, and we have a strict criteria of what is acceptable and what isn't on the platform. Same thing for driving record checks. They do require those, but you could have a few DUIs and still pass on their driving record check, and you wouldn't be able to pass on Lyft's driving check. So same thing on insurance. We have higher insurance limits. So we said, if safety is truly the concern, let's show you everything we're doing, and you can confirm that we're doing everything we say we're doing, and then let's find a path forward.
When you think about the market opportunity, you're not just saying, there's a $30 billion cab market worldwide. We can take a share of that.
Not at all. There is the sort of for-hire transportation market in the US, which is roughly 11 billion. But when you look at how much people spend on transportation, it's the second highest household expense. It's about 20% of every household's budget, second only to housing. And that's the market that I think is incredibly exciting when Lyft becomes something that you can use twice a day.
We see the opportunity as 80% of seats on our roads and highways are empty at all times. And what we're doing today with Lyft is just the first page or first chapter of what we want to do. The original vision of Zimmer and now Lyft is that you can go outside and find an empty seat in cars that are going a similar direction than you. Cars that have maybe that driver has a friend in common with you. We want to build the infrastructure, the kind of information infrastructure on top of our roads for consumer transportation.